This and you keep saying you're not doing anything in here. I ain't doing anything. I just had it up here because it's my business and my da. But I don't care. I'm not responsible. So it was a whole lot of. I'm like, everything you saying is shifting. Like you shifting 50 gears as you saying what you saying. But all I hear you saying is, yeah, I wanted the drama because this is my business and I want to make money off it. I want people to gift me to watch the drama that I have going on in my life.
I'm not a big enough creator for her to do that. That's what I'm saying.
You are big enough. You're a big enough creator, but you're not gonna give her the crash out she want to get, cause she wants you to crash out. So you say, "Fuck you, friends, bitch, big back, blah blah blah, pussy asshole." She wants that kind of crash out, and not like you saying, let me tell you what happened and I apologize to you because I did overreact and I'm owning up to that and I'm telling you that I apologize to you, sister to sister. She wants to spin the narrative and be able to say, cool is problematic. She's not who she claims to be. Look at this person who says she the good guy and she ain't even the good guy. So that even though be able to bring you into messy talk so she can get a storyline. Because ain't nobody giving her a storyline. Nobody care enough to give her a full storyline to be like, let me go argue with her for week after week after week. Even AJ ain't even arguing with her no more. She done moved on. She was like, so to continue having a storyline, it's like with it's like when Kenya on Real Housewives of Atlanta try to come with a new boyfriend to get a storyline, or she tried to tell somebody else business and she be like, well, Phaedra, her husband is a blah 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 blah. Like it's the Real Housewives of Atlanta, but trash.
I just don't, and the reason why I keep pausing because I'm thinking about things y'all have said. Like Callie, talking about black excellence is what we are over here, right? And then it's just the conversations me and Tony and Nikki have had and Crystal have had, on the back end of stuff. And so honestly, that's why I didn't go off on her. I really didn't because I remembered everything y'all said, but this is my thing too, as well. Damn, I was gonna say, how can I say this?
Can I tell you that even if you cooked her ass, I wouldn't have been mad at you. If
but
you cooked her on the way out the door, I wouldn't have been mad because she would have been windmilling for 10 weeks. The only thing is, when you come over here, go on about your business and let her keep windmilling.
Right. I'm good. I'm good with it. You know what I'm saying? I'm good on her too. Because she's not worth it. Friends with attitudes is not worth it. Nobody on this app is worth it.
Hell, if we get into it, you better go off. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, no. Oh, yeah. And she come back. But
don't be listening to Wine 20 down there, man.
Anyway.
I ain't gonna drink no more wine, Callie, because I feel like you just called me out.
We did.
You feel it good. I see it all in your eyes, my babe. I ain't lying.
Stop calling my sister out.
I mean what I say, though, Callie. I'm not even playing. And I feel like I'm low-key centering myself, but I ain't gonna lie to you. That shit made me mad. This is why I can't play with stuff in person. Because it's like, if that shit was happening in person, I would have stole on her.
But that's the whole thing. Let me tell you, man. When I tell y'all, I know I'm dramatic as fuck. That's just who I am. I'm a dramatic motherfucker. Listen, I've been dramatic since I was born. My mama tell you. But let me tell y'all something. This ain't no drama right here. This is for real. You come for my people, I'm coming for your ass. And that's how we all think over here. That's why 20 and Nick, like, yo, cool. Don't go over there no more. And I get why they say that, right? Because if they get pissed, who gonna calm them down? Because I can't do it. I can't calm them down. But yeah, I was gonna say something else. I can't remember right now. I was gonna say something else. Anyway, but yeah, these motherfuckers ain't worth it, man. Hell no. I'm not getting ready to question a career that I have because of her dumb ass. Because that's what I was getting ready to do. Like, oh, let me let her know who I am. For what? Like, 20 asked me, you don't have to unmute. Hey, Justin. I'm sorry. I just saw that, Nick. What's up? What's up? What's up? I just saw that. Sorry. I didn't know what I was looking at. Damn, I lost my train of thought for real.
Nikki, who posted that?
Well, I know who
well,
it is.
oh,
Yeah.
I figured, but I was like, I wasn't sure.
Mm-hmm. That's who that is.
No, Callie, I'm gonna be quiet now, cause.
Okay, I want to talk about this. How is that okay? How is that okay? And how do y'all give somebody that do that a pass? I ain't gonna say how y'all, because they don't. Y'all don't know what we're talking about. But Nikki, how does this person get away with this? Why is this not seen as bullying? Because am I correct? Isn't that her face? She superimposed that baby face?
That's too far. Because if you pulled up on somebody, and I'm not encouraging this in any way. I want to be very clear. I'm not encouraging anybody to do any kind of physical acts of violence or anything. But if somebody felt so inclined to do so, look, this is what I'm going to say to y'all. For whoever over here is on Messy Talking, y'all be listening. If y'all want to fight, just go fight. Leave people, kids out of it. Like, leave folks that ain't got nothing to do with the mess out of it. If y'all about that life, like y'all say y'all about that life, go be about that life. You know what I'm saying? Like, go do that. Find a corner, find a gym, a block, or whatever. It's gyms everywhere that let amateurs come in and box and brawl and do whatever. Go do that. Cause like, this lives forever. I could go on Wayback Machine and search for this even after you delete it, and still be able to pull it up and see that it was a thing.
It's forever.
And that's a child. And I'm sure at this point that child then built up some mental blockades and different things like that. But imagine what does this look like when she is 25? Like, what does this look like to a child who's surviving through what she's surviving through? That's why, and I'm gonna talk straight, and I am going to say names. I was not a fan of Trina for my own personal reasons, and y'all know that. I was not a fan. I was like, let that be. Like, on sight. That's how I felt about her, right? But I still have a heart. And I particularly have a heart for kids, because the things that I have experienced with children, working with them, and the horrors that they have had to deal with just as children, even for my own life, the things that I have had to deal with, right? And for what people I know who are around me, the things that they have had to deal with and survive through. And even when they finally get to the point where they can settle their mind and start to work through it and begin the healing process, that there's an app like this that lives forever. And even if it's not her, when y'all 50 years old and she's 20 something and she on the app and somebody say, ain't your mama name? And they go, I remember when your mama blah 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 blah, right, was going through this or going through that or this or this or that. She could be a whole judge, lawyer, in line to be the next president, whatever. She far then moved on with her life. But somebody would always try to drag her back into what she survived through. Not who she is, what she survived through. To try to humiliate her, to try to belittle and all of that shit. You know, like, I have shared my story with y'all, and I'm not centering myself, but I know that my story is not unique to me. I know that a lot of black women have experienced many of the things that I have experienced, and they are trying to survive and get through them just on a daily basis, and just trying to do good things for people. Because what I know about each of you ladies that are up here, and even each of you gentlemen, is that you try to do good things for people. You know, to some extent, we all work in a, like, service type field where, you know, not necessarily like frontline. Well, some of us are frontline, but have worked in frontline service where you are like, I'm trying to solve a problem for people to be able to heal their mind so that they can thrive and move forward, and also doing that work because we want to be able to thrive. So when I see somebody doing something like pulling a child into a situation like that, knowing that I personally have talked to children who have been terrorized by adults in their family in ways that you can't even imagine. In ways that you can't even imagine. To see something like that, I feel sick. I feel disgusted. And in a way that I can never come back to a point where I got respect for any of these individuals who feel like there's an explanation that's good enough to explain why you would do something like that to a child. You could have dragged Trina 50 ways from Sunday. You could have made a superimposed video of her popping on the handstand in a Players Club video, all that stuff. I still would have felt like it was wrong, like, leave that girl alone. But I also feel like then to bring it in and say that her child is not off limits, because how many times are y'all gonna say that she poor, she was begging, she was broke, she was this, she was that? You can't weaponize something that somebody don't feel shamed about, and nor should they feel shame, because allegedly we live in the richest country on earth, and more than 60% of our kids live in poverty. And I'm talking about black kids. More than 60% of our kids live in poverty. Most of you on this app grew up in poverty. I grew up in poverty. You ain't gonna shame me. I'm a foster kid. I was homeless all throughout college. I've been homeless before. I didn't live through all kind of shit. You ain't gonna shame me. Right. And I can say that out loud. I don't give a fuck if a motherfucker recording in the hallway go say, look me up, this, that, whatever. You ain't gonna beat my ass. So, this the thing. When I see my sister, I see myself. I can't harbor no hate. When somebody who, you know, close to us was beefing with that person, I said, you need to cut that shit out, because it's going to kick back on you. And what happened? So, when you keep kicking on somebody, do you think they not going to kick back when they get the opportunity to? Do you think they're going to forget? Do you think that spirit and universe is going to forget the kicking you were doing? So when it's your turn to get kicked, will you feel like it was a good idea to do that to that person? Because you will be hoping and praying, somebody please help, please stop it. Please come. Because everybody talks like it ain't going to happen to me. Ain't nobody going to kick me. Ain't nobody going to do nothing to me because y'all the biggest bad. It's still another bigger bad out there. Like, can we move on from that stuff? Like, I literally would prefer that y'all just physically fight it out instead of doing these verbal wars, these humiliation rituals, this who can do the worst, who can say the worst, who can be the worst, and continue to do that. And it's just like, I ain't even gonna bring it to a standpoint of it's about morals or anything like that, because y'all can't hear or see any of that. It's about you, because when the other folks see us, I look like Nikki, I look like Crystal, I look like Cool, I look like Mac, I look like all of you ladies to them. It doesn't matter where we are in life, how we got here, where we going, what we got going on in here. None of that shit matter to them. They just see all of us as the same. They see us as projects. They see us as poor, irredeemable, not worthy, unchristian, or whatever kind of religion you want to say, unworthy, unloved by God, all of this other stuff. That's what they see of us. So when we then go ahead and act like God don't love us in front of all everybody to see, why would they treat us any differently? And I don't even like getting into that in terms of a respectability politics standpoint. But you make it hard for you to be the messenger. When something really going down, you make it really hard for you to be a messenger. And we need everybody to have the ability to stand in front of our people and be like, hey, we got to come together. We got to bear witness. And not for play, because I do see some people are trying. Because they be like, oh, let me mention the election stuff. Now, some of y'all need to Google some stuff before y'all say something. Because some of y'all is blowing it. However, but when you want to shift gears like that and people be like, whatever, I'm not going to take you seriously or whatever. Y'all could have y'all blew it. With your 3,000 people in your room, you could have had Stacey Abrams in your room. You could have had senators in your room. You could have had congressmen. You could have opened up a whole other platform to be able to dialogue, but y'all chose to make it, let me put somebody's daughter's face on a streetwalker. Like, this was a gateway for a lot of y'all to be able to get somewhere. You could have turned your mess into something blessed. Like, I know, I don't even I'm not a creator. I don't say that because, and a lot of y'all ain't even creators. I don't know what kind of, that's none of my business. But everybody has influence. Everybody has influence. And I'm not going to downplay somebody, say like, oh, you unimportant or this, that. No, or you only got this many followers. You only got that many followers. Like, most of y'all with y'all 6,000, 60,000, 100,000, you bought about 40% of those. The rest of the people, another 30, 40% is hate watching you. The remainder is just unintelligent, and they looking for something unintelligent to watch. But it's just like, and y'all know that there are other creators on the app who do good things, do good work, say good things. Dr. Nicole, I'm about to butcher her name just because I've been drinking wine. Forgive it. Charge it to my head, not my heart. Dr. Hadia Nicole Green, who is doing that work to cure cancer, and has created a new methodology that is not chemotherapy and has very low to no side effects, and is raising money to get cancer treatment for everybody. People who we know are dealing with that. Many of us will deal with that, right? Many of us have dealt with that in our families, but nobody is boosting Dr. Hadia Nicole Green. You know what I'm saying? Like, I share her posts every time she posts, regardless. You know, that's what I can do for what I have. And, you know, in terms of on the app, rather. But, like, that's something very little, very small. Even if y'all stop and did y'all commercial and said, I just want to mention Dr. Hadid and Nicole Green, because so many of our families are touched by cancer. And then I'm going to land it here. I was at a graduation. You know, when my students would graduate, I would always go to their graduations because I know that that was a huge milestone for them. And so it was important for me to show up. And I just remember one year, one of the speakers asked the kids to stand up if their family had been touched by cancer. And it's something that we know, we have an awareness. We pray for people. We say, I'll share her page with you, Abra. We say things and we go condolences and thoughts and prayers and you know, you gonna beat this and fuck cancer. We say all of these things, but we ignore the fact of how many people in our community, in our families, are touched by it, and in big and small ways, you know, no matter how it appears or when it appears. And it was definitely a majority of kids. Very few kids did not stand up. But I say that because the neighborhood where this particular school is in a cancer alley. Right? Like it's in Pollution Blows East. It's on the east side of a neighborhood. It's the closest neighborhood to the steel factory. It's the closest neighborhood to where all of the trains and the transporting of materials, like Lionel talks about, right? Like, cause I live close to a train, but the train I live close to is on the other part of the lake, right? So it's not on me, right? But it goes directly through their neighborhoods. Like they gotta stop walking to school to let the train go by, right? So they face all kinds of pollution, and ain't no telling what's been dumped, what's seeped out, because nobody's saying anything. But we know that these things happen, especially because when we talk to Lionel, he's like, this happened in this area and this, that. And it's like, I know where that is, right? So those people are being poisoned, and they're fighting diseases with little to no medical coverage. The other reason that President Obama had to give universal health care to people is because as these years rolling out, as we are in the age of Aquarius, we are going to know how often, we're going to find out many of the things of how often our people have been poisoned in this. And not, you don't just have this condition because it's genetic. You have this condition because you are environmentally being poisoned. So it's just so much bigger stuff to be worried about. And I know, like, I might be all over the place and I might just be talking too much, but that's the shit that be rolling through my head sometimes when people be saying stuff, and it's just like, I could see and I could tell that you ain't about nothing, or you don't know. And I don't necessarily hold the fact that people don't know something about against them, because sometimes the information is concealed or it is redacted or is altered to make it seem like it's not that big of a problem, it's not that serious and all of this stuff. But the more I listen to some of y'all on this app, and I don't mean this in a degrading way, some of y'all is The Hills Have Eyes. And if you've seen that movie, it's because those people have been poisoned. It is because they had been filled with chemicals and all of that stuff, and so they were having difficulties with managing their emotions and all of that stuff, and it led them to a space where they would continue to be violent, etc. If you can get up on this app and talk about COINTELPRO, and you can get up on this app and talk about the 60s and how they infiltrated the Black Panthers and how they taped Martin Luther King and how they sabotaged Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton and all these people, you could talk about all of the, I can't even call it conspiracy, but conspiracy, the word conspiracy gets a bad word, right? Because people did conspire, right? People absolutely conspired against our people. But if you could see the conspiracy of the things that happened then, But you can't see the conspiracy of you getting on this app and doing that to a child and humiliating how you were part of that bigger movement to get us to continue to hate each other, to get us to continue to be at war so that they can be at war with us silently by poisoning our kids, by undereducating them, by torturing them, by humiliating them, by promoting rape and assault towards them, by denying them access to human rights and freedoms. Because I know I said I was landed, but if y'all look at the strategies that they have to get labor from children in just about every state right now to cover for the amount of people who passed away during the pandemic, to replace their labor, because I was there. I remember when kids stopped coming to school, and when I would call them and say, hey, where you at? When you ain't been to school, you know you graduating this year, they would say, oh, I got a full-time job at Taco Bell, I'm a manager. They would say, I got a full-time job at Amazon, they about to promote me. I got a full-time job, and these are minimum wage jobs. These are not livable wage, right? And what ends up happening is, and this is 4 years later, I get calls from kids and they ask me, can I still go to school? Can I still, you remember you was telling us about that program. Can I still get in that program? Right? I had a kid call me about healthcare the other day because he was like, I know I got ADHD and I need some medication, but I don't know what I'm supposed to do because, you know, they were children when all of that stuff hopped off, and now they're like 22, 23-year-old adults. So they don't know what to do and where to go because the job ain't offering them no health coverage, and they trying to figure it out. So they ended up in emergency rooms, and the manifestation of their mental health is coming to fruition now, right? Even on this app, and as we listen to all of these young men who be like, I hate women, I'll be like, baby, you just got out the gate. How you hate women already, right? Like, that's just, it's all a symptom of the greater torture that took place between the pandemic and now, and even the torture that had already been taking place before the pandemic kicked off. So it's just so much stuff, and it's just like, I be sad and tired, and I don't know, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. That's why I'm struggling so bad to kick back into gear, because I feel like I know I am more knowledgeable about the root of the problem, whereas many people are trying to hide it and ignore it, and they don't want me to speak on it, right? And I will speak on it to y'all because I know y'all understand, and I know that y'all are action based. But it just is such an exhausting kind of feeling and I don't sit idly by and watch my people be tortured. And it took me a while to come to terms with the idea that we are being tortured, as opposed to it's just systemic oppression. It's so much more than that. It's so much more than just a systemic oppression. It's intentional. Because when I sit in the room and you tell me, I don't give them that, they just gonna spoil it anyway, they just not gonna do it, and the money is there for them. And these were the same people who were going and saying, advocate, we need money, help. They trying to secure their paycheck. They don't give a fuck about them kids. They don't care about those people. I listened to somebody and they were saying how it was the professor, and I was going to do a response video. He was talking about the ABCs thing, that kids learn the alphabet song. They don't actually know the alphabet. And then it was the parents. So he was saying there were people in the comments and they were saying, I don't know either. And he said, well, I get it when my teacher friends say that when they meet the parents, they know what the situation is. But if you don't have the ability to zoom out, right? Because when you up on the problem like this, all you can see is right here. But when you zoom way out and you can see how big the problem is, that it was intentional to make sure those parents didn't know the alphabet song, that it was intentional to make sure their kids didn't understand that the alphabet represents a certain order. Now, it's not the only order, because we got to, in addition to teaching our kids that things have an order, we also have to give them the opportunity to create so that they can see it. Maybe there is a better iteration where future generations of my people won't experience this. And we do get that. We get genius in our community, right? Genius pops up in so many different ways in our community, and it comes from people who people least expect it from, and they fight through the mud and everything to get to the level of genius. What I be hoping for what I get to do, is that I can knock the mud out the way so they don't have to fight to get to their genius, or fight to execute their genius, or to survive and be, right? So that they can just get up there and be healed when they get there. I was telling my nephew yesterday that he said I'm very strong-willed, and sometimes he had to set boundaries with me. And I said, I respect it. But I felt like it was coming from a place of, he wanted me to be quiet, right? He wanted me to just listen to his plan, which I did listen to his plan. And then I gave him some feedback, and he told me I was, very forceful, and he knows how to tell me to stop. And then I said, I wish you knew that I was trying to keep you from believing on your journey that you got to heal everybody else to get where you going. That ain't your job. Because I had to go through the hard path of thinking that I got to heal everybody on my journey so that I could get where I'm going. And so I could go where I'm getting. And that was a lie I was telling myself, because other people made me feel like I owed them. And while I did need to thank you was enough, but people will make you feel like saying thank you is not enough. And so a lot of our kids feel anchored to us, that they owe us something, and it's keeping them from going as far as they can go on their journey. Because for the distance that I went with the struggle, I think about, if you didn't have this struggle, how far would you go?
Yes.
And leave all this shit behind you, baby. Go to the moon. Go to the moon, okay? And be fearless up there on the moon. And if somebody kick you off, get a jetpack. If you gonna get traumatized from the moon, so you can see all of the stuff behind me. And you ain't leaving me, because we think we leaving somebody. You ain't leaving me. I decided the orbit that I'm gonna be in, and now that's my grown ass choice.